And before I do introduce Jeremiah, I just wanted to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for making the time this evening to join us. And my name is Angela, as Tim has said, and it's really heartening to see some very familiar faces, around the screen today. Thank you very much for journeying with us over the last 10 years. Tim said we've been doing this work, doing development differently for almost a decade now. And it is your support that has allowed us to do this development differently. It allows us to put the needs of the communities, their priorities that they identify themselves, and also the local partners that serve them. It helps us to put them in the driving seat of their own transformation. And we don't take any of that for granted at all. And so without wasting too much time, I would like to welcome you, Jeremiah. Jeremiah is in Monrovia in Liberia, and he's together with Ben today, who is the country representative for All We Can. So Jeremiah, welcome.
Thank you, Angela. Good evening to everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining. I know that it's quite late, but thank you for making the time. And we're really excited to hear your story and the journey that you have been going on. Our partnership approach is called Walking Together in Partnership. And we walk alongside our partners and the communities that we serve. So it's a relationship. And we're just really grateful for that relationship with you and with Shift.
Wonderful. We are also grateful for all that you do for us. You
Thank
seem to be the lifeblood for what we do.
So thank you, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
So I have a few questions to ask, and we just want to really get to know you a little bit more. Thank you for being a part of the event. And would you kindly introduce yourself to the audience and share with us how Shift came to existence?
Okay, thank you very much. Before I start, let me say a big thank you to Revd Jim. I hope I got the name well, and the deacon for the great reflection that they gave to us this evening. I'm really inspired.
Yes.
My name is Jeremiah T. Burgess, and I'm the co-founder and executive director for SHIFT. SHIFT stands for Self-Help Initiative for Sustainable Development. And the group is a refugee-inspired group that was started in the Buduburan refugee camp somewhere in the central region of Ghana. And that was years back, somewhere in 2000, October 11, 2000. That was way back. So the purpose of the group is to reduce or help alleviate poverty through providing access to entrepreneurship and that of alternative education, basically adult literacy and vocational skills and what have you. Personally, for me, I'm a father of 5 kids, and I'm happily married and live in Monrovia now. I hope I may move on your question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Jeremiah. And just wanted to find out about the relationship that Shift has with All We Can. We've been working together now for a few years, and there are a lot of other organizations that are also working in this space called international development. What would you say has been unique about our partnership approach as compared to other organizations that Shift has worked with in the past?
Okay, thank you for such a great question. I would say for short, what has been extraordinarily unique about the partnership has to do with your approach to partnership, particularly with the concept of decolonizing aid in the developing world or with the partners that you work with in developing countries. More to that, and to be more specific, I like the part, and we are very much thrilled by the aspect where you are flexible with the needs and capacities of the partners that you work with, the local partners that you work with, most of whom are inexperienced, limited capacity, and all of that. So being very flexible with their needs and capacity is a great thing that we really admire. And more to that, that you place in the center of your partnership what we call trustworthiness, which for us makes a partnership true and very genuine. That's for now what I can say about that.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
I think you have really emphasized the fact that our partnership is undergirded, if you will, by trust. So it's trusting that the local organizations we work with and the communities that we work with really understand and know their needs best, because they're living with those needs every day. So I'm from Malawi, and we do have a saying that, you know, you can be in the midst of bees, but it's the one that gets stung that will actually tell you how painful it is. And so it's that same kind of concept that actually the people who are walking this journey and being impacted by issues of poverty are the ones who are best placed to be able to say, you know, what it is that they desperately need. And so the approach that we take is to be able to respond to those. And you know, the partners like Shift are doing that very well with your communities. So thank you very much for that. And so I wonder whether you might be able to share some of the impacts that you have had with the communities that you serve. So share with us some of the work, the activities that you do. How has that brought transformation to the communities, and also maybe even individuals that you might want to talk to us about this evening?
Again, thank you very much for that question. For the years that we work with you, we've made some very significant achievements or impact through the various areas that we work in. We work in the area of vocational skills training. We work in the area of providing primary education. We work in the area of providing literacy, adult literacy for disadvantaged youth and adults. And we also work in various communities where we do VSLA training for women and all of that. Now, with respect to achievements, there are a number of achievements that we've had over the years, but currently let me just point out a few of them, considering between last year and now. We have had, with our primary school that we run, we have somewhere around 372 pupils at the moment. And let me let you know that prior to our going into the community, particularly the one that I want to highlight here, which is the Lee Hill community, which is in Johnsonville, the township of Johnsonville in Moserado County. Before Shift moved into that community was more of a no-go zone. There was a criminal hideout, you know, and there were a lot of land conflicts. So there were lot of infighting and all. So many people did not want to move there. In fact, it was also not lucky to have developmental partners going in to help until we moved into that area. When we even moved there, there was no school building in the area. The closest school building that the government had was somewhere around, say, in terms of walking distance, you might take somewhere 45 minutes to an hour to go there. And it was risky because the place is isolated. It was isolated then, bushes and all of that. Nobody wanted to go there, and we went there. If I would move in the area, many people felt we're going to fail. You wouldn't succeed. It's difficult to work here. Nobody's going to come here. Why are you coming this way? But we're led by God and keep trusting that He's always there to make a way. Currently, we have a functional primary school. We have a functional vocational school. And we've worked with a good number of young people since 2016. We've been working in that area. Today, that area is growing rapidly. And as I said earlier, the primary school now has somewhere around 372 active students. And the vocational training program, this current period that we're running now, has somewhere around 133 students who are between the ages of 18 to 35. We have made some impact in that area. For instance, there's this vocational training program where we have we provide event decoration, we provide electricity, we provide plumbing, a whole lot of different stuff. And we were able to have a lot of people who came in, most likely at a 0 level, depressed and all of that, and they were able to go through our process, regain self-confidence, have a much boosted self-esteem, and they are now making some impact. We have one case that we want to highlight tonight, which has to do with a girl, a Muslim girl, by the way, called Masaran S. Kamara. Masaran came to us at the age of, she's a woman anyway, at the age of 30. That was between 2020 to 2023. She enrolled in our basic ed program, basic education and work ready now kind of program, as well as the vocational training. When Masaran came to us, she could not read and write. She could not put letters together. She spent 10 months in our basic ed and work ready now program, and Masaran was able to put together simple sentences, write her name, construct some 3 to 5 letter words into sentences. And Masaran did not stop. Upon completing, she enrolled in the hairdressing program, and she also did what we call event decoration. But this is something interesting that you want to know. Masaran was at the age of 15 when she was given to somebody who was almost like a grandfather. And her parents gave her to this man to marry her. So she did not have the chance of going to school. At the time she came to us, there's a problem. This guy vehemently refused for her to go to school. We had to get involved and try to encourage him and talk to the families for Masaran to come to school. Masaran started coming to school. And there were many days that Masaran would come to school and she would have bruises on her back and on her hands. She would show it to some of our female teachers that she had been beaten, she had been molested by this person and who happened to be the husband, on grounds that she's coming to the school. She's now able to do some dial her own number and talk to people, which was something that was annoying to him. And he started to accuse her of maybe getting involved with extramarital kind of affairs. We think that that was a difficult thing for her, and most likely she was going to drop out of school. But Masaran showed some extraordinary courage. She kept coming till a day came when the guy walked to our school and threatened us that if this girl continued to come to school, he's going to take us to court, he's going to do something bad. And we told him that as far as we're concerned, education was a human right, you know, and she had a right to come to school if she wanted to come to school. And if for any reason we were prepared to go to court or even go to the general ministry and report the issue, you know. So he left it there. Masaran kept coming. She tried all she could. There were many days she would come and she would be crying. But when she completed, you know, sometime last year, I think it was in December or so, Masaran now decided to leave this guy. You know, she left him and moved somewhere else, you know, somewhere in the Oro area, moved there. Masaran now has her own little business. She's doing hairdressing. She's able to find some means, you know, to keep herself moving. And that we think is a great show of courage and a great show of commitment on the part of a lady who has been subjected to humiliation for quite a long time. And that's one case that I thought would be a good case to share with you. Some time ago, she came to us with one of her relatives to tell us thank you, you know, for what we've done for her. You know, and if she had the opportunity, you know, if she had not left the area, she would want to come back to do another course. We said, well, that's it. We're happy for where you are. We hope that you can enroll in formal school and be able to improve yourself more gradually. So that's one piece that I thought to share with you concerning those that we've impacted. There are many others that I could also talk about.
Wow. Jeremiah, thank you so much for sharing, especially that story about Masera. And there's so many different things that you have talked about, including peacemaking, becoming peacemakers and moving into an area which was a no-go zone, but you felt led by God to go and make a difference and support the communities there and see what God has done through that act of obedience. Transformation of a young woman who was forced into early marriage and has been empowered to leave an abusive marriage and actually can now stand on her own 2 feet. We've always talked about the importance of education, because if a woman is educated, it means that they can start a business. They can be able to understand how to make a small budget, how to give change, things that we take for granted, but that can actually transform a woman's life. So thank you very much for that act of obedience and for walking alongside this community in Lee Hill. Also, to thank you for, touching the lives of people like Masera. And I know that in, the coming years that you will continue to make a difference in other areas. And this is one of the reasons why our approach as All We Can is really to ensure that organizations like SHIFT can continue to serve the needs of their communities for many, many years. We look at resilience, we look at capacity building, and making sure that you're able to fulfill your mission and bring around transformation such as you have in this young woman's life. So thank you very much.
And to add, the girl you have on the screen in the with the helmet, She happened to be the only girl who graduated from one of our last year electricity class. I mean, when she came in, some of the people were laughing at her. How can you be a lady to go into electricity? I mean, this is a men's world, you can't make it. But she came top of her class.
Mm.
So we're
So
proud of her.
she's an electrician?
Electrician, yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
And she graduated top of her class.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very inspiring indeed.
Yeah.
So I have one.
Angela, before you move on, can I just quickly talk? There was a statement in his program, he talked about VSLA, maybe for the rest of the people. The VSLA is a new intervention that has a lot of challenges, and the society and cultural belief and perception is hindering that program. VSLA is a village saving loan scheme activity. So it focuses on female. The issue has been around that the women will go to the market, they will do their agriculture, they will sell their products, but they will give the money to their husbands with the mindset that the husbands would take the money to the bank. But then the husbands would take those money and use it for other reasons. Because the women don't know how to save, they didn't know how to write their names, so they don't go to the banks. So the VSLA has come in as a new idea of teaching a woman, because when a woman goes to VSLA, she learns to write her name, she learns to go to the bank, she learns to save. So it has come to a point that women will go to VSLA when they go to the husband for their account, and when they walk to the bank, there's nothing in that bank. But they have lived all their life with the perception that they have been saving. So it's a program that now helping female to save in the different communities, and then also be able to access local loans to invest. So it focuses more on women. It has had a lot of resistance from the men-dominant communities. It's a new program that is so hard to work in the culture, and that's one of the things they are into. I just thought to bring the VSLA.
Yeah, thank you very much. It sounds like a lot of work to try and ensure that there's gender balance, and really change the dynamics in families and in society at large. So yeah, thank you very much, Ben, for adding that. I have just one last question, and then I will hand over back. So this year, All We Can, like many other organizations working in this sector, have been impacted by a downturn in our income. What that has done is that we've now had to reduce the support that we can provide for communities and for local partners like yourselves. So I just wanted to ask what impact that has had on you in terms of reducing the support that we've been able to provide, the financial support that we've been able to provide to SHIFT this year.
Yeah, again, thank you for that question. When we got the news, it came with some brokenheartedness, I would say, yeah. But then trusting in God, and we knew that He has the strategy for the victory. So we always have faith in God that He's in control and things will happen. In terms of impact, the downturn, in terms of funding has an adverse effect and a negative effect on what we try to do. And one way is that if we can have funding, most likely we'll not be able to implement some of the projects that we intend to implement, like the Village Saving and Loans Association. Creating that, you need money to be able to do. And that is one of the activity that we prioritize that help to empower women and financially they create their own pool of funds, and they are able to increase their business activities. So, but we encourage ourselves knowing that this is life. I mean, life is seasonal, and we trust in that the situation will somehow change. We are very much committed to do what we're doing, because we know that with God, all things are possible. So we have hope, But if we can get money, we might not be able to do some of the activities, the way we want to do them. So we are praying for you, and we are trusting God that He will do a new thing, and people will be able to support the great work that you do. I'm so very much, in fact, delighted that the little small things that we do, you come and highlight them and make them so big. You know, yes, I mean, we're really happy, and we trust that God is going to bless all we can to find the resources and to support the local partners. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeremiah.